Welcome to the Skill Locked profile, where every Skyblock year I spin a wheel and can only level one of the 5 major Skyblock skills, with the eventual goal of maxing all 5 of them. Last time we rolled fishing, ran into the biggest challenge of the profile so far, and unlocked Fishing 40. The ninth Skyblock year is about to begin, with this episode showcasing the conquest of yet another skill. But before we get started, we need to spin the wheel that decides our fate. Let's go. Let's see what we get. Please let it be something interesting. And it looks like it's gonna be a farming week. And welcome back once again to another farming week. We're gonna jump right into it pretty much. I already have my setup here, and I already picked up a booster cookie by selling the stuff that we got in the last fishing week. I didn't really need to sell anything extra, so we're up to 400 mil sacks. The goal this time, very, very simple. We want to max out the farming skill. We are at farming 53 right now. It's time to get this skill out of the way, so let's get farming. In terms of other smaller goals I would like to hit throughout this week, Helianthus armor, I think it's going to be worthwhile for me to do. I have the money for it already, and I'll probably do so relatively quickly. I also wanted to pick up a few more upgrades in terms of farming wisdom. I think there's like the very moldy bread that I can get that gives 30 farming wisdom temporarily, and then 1 forever. I also have to look into getting more sawdust, so I can continue to level up my solage chip. That'll give me up to 30 more farming wisdom as well. We're over here in the Crimson Isle, picking up half-eaten mushrooms. It only cost a couple million coins, and it gives us a decent amount of mushroom fortune, a total of 12, so that's pretty nice to see. We also get to pick up all of our minions. I don't think I should have too much profit in these, but at the very least, I get something back. We also did our enchanting minigame, got ourselves up to enchanting 37, which is pretty nice, and we also got a Venomous 6 book. Oh yeah, as part of the latest update, they've actually boosted the amount of base accessory bag slots you get, and they've also changed out how the redstone collection works. So as you can see, I get 6 slots from this first upgrade that I unlocked in the first week. And because of that, I have a lot more slots now, so I can store up the rest of the accessories that I've been holding on to up all the way to level 150, and on top of that, accessory power of 310. That is awesome. And there's another mushroom milestone that puts us at, I believe, 42, which is crazy. Only 4 more to go, and then we're maxed. Off of picking up a bunch of pests, we got a wheat milestone and another garden level that is really nice. Gives us some more crop growth, as well as some additional crop upgrades there. We can now get the mushroom tier 7 there, and tier 8, which is really nice. And the final tier would require garden level 15. We can also get an upgrade to our voter's badge here at Mayor Paul. He has visited us. Very, very nice. As you can see, that gives us 6 bonus votes in mayor elections. We can put that in now. Take out the old voter badge. Up to a total of 315 accessory power. Our Book of Progression has also upgraded. And here we are about to get another farming level. We're at 99.97 now. And after a little bit longer, we will hit that next level. We will be farming 54. There we go. So we do have a lot more to do, but that's our first level of the new week. That means 6 more to go until we're maxed and the skill is unlocked. So let's keep on going. If you're enjoying Skyblock Skill Locked, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and stay tuned until the end, as I will be spinning the wheel that decides the next cycle. Now let's get back to Skyblock Skill Locked. We're now at 2 more rare finder chips needed until the next legendary upgrade. I think I'm just gonna grab those, I'm gonna be honest. They're about 1,000,000 coins each. I'm just gonna pick up 2 of them for about 2.1 mil, and before we were at 22 overbloom. And with those, now we're at 27.5, so definitely a pretty solid upgrade there in terms of overbloom. It should be pretty noticeable on the pests, as well as just when farming. We got another mushroom contest done, and we got platinum in that contest, which is very, very nice. Alright, it's time to make our first big sale. We have all of our enchanted brown mushroom blocks here, and we are going to sell them all for about 101 million coins. If you take a look, I still have 335 mil in my sacks. We're going to hold on to all of that for now, but I think I'm going to use all of this money on upgrading my armor, and also picking up a few other upgrades. I actually just remembered that bizarre taxes exist. I only ended up selling like 29 of them, so I didn't really lose much. I'm just going to sell it like this. I think it's just going to be much better for me. Yeah, there we go. We're up to 105 million coins in the purse. That was almost a little bit of a disaster. I think we would have lost like 2 or 3 mil off of that, but at the very least, we have the money now, so we're going to look into upgrading very, very soon. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, after picking up everything, we still have 19 mil left over, and we are able to craft ourselves a full set of Helianthus. So I think we're going to do it, given our gear right now. I think it's going to be fine. So there we go. There's the helmet. We have the chest piece and the leggings. And the boots I'm going to hold on to. I'm going to look to see if I can get anything better than my current Fermento boots. After doing a little bit of looking, I was not able to find anything good in terms of manted Fermento boots. I found some stuff that had maybe the bare minimum solid-ish gemstones on it, but it was at over a 10 million coin premium. There's other places we can get more farming fortune that are much cheaper than that. There we go. Now we have the full set of Helianthus gear. And as you can see, that boosts up our stats very significantly. We're at 1489 farming fortune base with just our rabbit on. If we were to put on the hedgehog pet, we're all the way up to 1660, which is crazy. I think that also is counting another 50 from having a pest in this plot, but still, that is very, very solid. And another mushroom milestone I didn't even realize that I hit. That is 44. We are now very close to the max overall milestone. Literally took me this long to realize I could get Philip's contact with just a squeaky toy. I've been running over back to this guy for so long, and all it cost me was 18k coins to fix that. Something I am going to pick up here is I'm going to insta-buy the Very Moldy Bread. We were waiting a little while on doing this. I wanted to see if I could pick one up with a buy order, but we are going to consume that. That gives us 1 farming wisdom permanently, and I believe 30 for the next hour. And there we go. We got a legendary slug here. And I think I'm going to actually get that on my profile. And I'm also going to put that in my XP sharing so we can level it up. That is pretty nice. And here we go. There is the max garden milestone for mushroom. That is pretty awesome. The first one of those that we've completed. I don't think we'll get any others done during the time that we're going to be farming this week. But it's still cool to know that I got one of these done. And I feel pretty happy about that. And there we go. We have gotten level 40 on our fungi cutter, and we can start applying some overclockers to this thing. And we're going to continue to level it up over time. We also got another gemstone slot on that now, but sadly the slot is not really usable because we haven't had a mining week. We also decided to pick up an upgrade to our quick draw chip. Now it's at decreasing the amount of time for visitors to appear when harvesting crops by 7.5%. We have made it legendary. That should be pretty nice given that we need a lot of the visitors for XP. We've also now had our moldy bread expire, which does kind of suck. We've gone from 14.8 farming XP per crop down to 13. Still, though, not bad. We're now going to buy up another moldy bread. I just want to have access to the buff for a little while longer. We can eat up to 5 of them and continue to get those farming wisdom buffs, so we will be doing that throughout the week. So I think if I collect up all of these pests, there we go. There is farming 55, which is crazy. We also got an atmospheric filter, which we already have, funnily enough. But yeah, that is a huge milestone. Only 5 levels to go. And I think pretty soon I'm going to set up my greenhouse. I've been putting it off all day, but I do need to do it if I want to get the next few milestones for my, mutations. And I also have to pick up the pests in my traps here. They are completely full. So let's do that real quick, and then we will work on our greenhouse. Something else I've decided to do as I was just working on my greenhouse is I want to pick up the Aquamaster Hydromax. This is not too expensive for me, and it's going to make my life a whole lot easier. Yeah, one of the main reasons for picking this up is that it's just so much better at actually getting large groups of crops. It is incredible. Alright, and after a little bit of setup, this is what I have so far. Note, I cannot make Zombuds because I believe when you kill them, you actually get combat XP. So that's something I cannot do, but everything else should be on the table for the next stage of greenhouse mutations. As for the other plot, we are just going to be Ashreath maxing. This is what I've got for this. I think it's all we really need, and frankly, it'll make quite a bit of money for us in the interim, so I'm going to hold on to this plot. I also decided to sell the day's profit of brown mushroom blocks in order to pick up a Fermento artifact. I had to craft this all the way from the Crappie Talisman, but frankly, it was not a very bad craft. A little bit expensive, but super useful for the farming fortune it gives. So yeah, now that we have that Fermento artifact, we can throw that in here. We get a total of 30 mushroom fortune, and it also gives us some more accessory power. We're up to 323 now. And here we are at the end of a mushroom contest, and as you can see, we pretty solidly got diamond and another personal best as well, which is crazy. That should give me a bit more fortune, I believe. Yeah, as you can see, 53 mushroom fortune from my personal best. That is awesome. We have been grinding out a long time today. I think I've been going since like 9 or 10 in the morning. It's now 10 at night, and I think I'm going to go another couple hours. I want to try to get that next farming level, but we have been grinding. All right, so if I go to this plot here, and I actually pick up the pests here, there we go. We're actually over 100% onto the next level. And you might be wondering, well, why haven't you hit that next level? It's because I need to pay in the form of Jacob's tickets. I have a few on me, but I don't know if that's enough to get the next upgrade. I have a lot of rewards to claim, so I'm going to do that. And then I believe if I go over to Anita, yeah, farming level cap. I can trade that in. There we go. Instantly. Farming 56. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get 57. I need some more Jacob's tickets in order to get those. We're actually going to pick up quite a few right now. They're 42k each. I'm going to pick up maybe 400 of them for now. That should be about 18 mil. We're just going to grab them. Boom. There we go. And another. And I don't think we can do yet another. I might have to pick up my stash here. There's actually a bunch of nonsense in here as well. But yeah, it didn't affect my levels at all. Hold on 1 second. Let me just sell all that. But I don't think we're going to have enough Jacob's tickets. Regardless, though, that does allow us to access our next few farming levels. I think right about now is the perfect time to wrap up night number 1. I have been farming since 9 in the morning. It's now 11:30 at night. I want to go to bed. I sound tired. I am tired. It's just time to sleep. We also made a huge amount of progress, as you can see, going all the way from farming 53 up to 56. We now have farming 58 unlocked. We're making a lot of progress here, and tomorrow we are set. I want to hit farming 58 by the end of tomorrow, and then we'll be in a good state to end at farming 60 this Skyblock year. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Welcome to another day of Skill Locked Farming Week. We're up to 502 million total profit from pests, which is crazy. We have some stuff to do over here in our greenhouses. First, we have to set the time to be night for these Noctilooms, but I don't think anything is actually ready yet, which is interesting. We do have a pretty big harvest here of all of our Ashreaths. Now, I don't think this will get me very far in my level at all, but it is some amount of XP, which is pretty nice, and we're also getting some Helianthus off of this. Definitely some free money to be made here for sure. I was also hearing from other people that maybe setting up Turtellinis would be really good for experience. That might be something I consider. I think I'm nearly at the point where it's worthwhile for me to just pick up a third greenhouse plot and then do whatever I want in that third plot. And since we're up to 2.6 million Stardust, we can get the second to last upgrade for Solage. There we go, 28.5 farming wisdom. And with the next upgrade, we'll be maxed, and after that, we can start focusing on stuff like Rare Finder, get some more Hypercharge done, and even some Crop Shot. Also, if you can't tell, I am farming at night right now, and I'm actually losing out on a lot of farming fortune in order to do so. And the reason why is I have Noctilooms, and that means that when the next phase passes, it will need to be nighttime, and I don't know if I'm gonna like log off or something before that happens. So I have set it to nighttime as a precaution in case I forget or whatever else. It is going to cut into my rates a little bit, of course, but we're not really worried about rates right now in terms of how much money I'm making. All the money of the year, or at least a lot of it, is going to be made during the Harvest Feast, as well as after I hit farming 60 when I get off this dang rabbit pet. But for now, we are just focused on pure XP rates, not really cash. So to pick up a third greenhouse, we are going to sell our crystallized moonlight here for about 13 mil. The price is fairly high right now before the harvest feast. And then we're also going to sell our enchanted brown mushroom blocks to NPC. That puts us at around a 73 million coin purse, and that's more than enough to buy another greenhouse. First, though, I want to pick up this. This is the Agaramu artifact. It gives you fishing speed, farming wisdom, and fishing wisdom. It's kind of perfect for our biggest problems right now. We do want to unlock, obviously, the maximum farming level, but it's also great during a future fishing week. We're going to pick that up. It's around 10 million coins, which is a little bit of money, but now that we have more accessory bag slots, we can throw that in there, and that is a nice upgrade up to 331 accessory power. All right, our inventory has been cleared. We have all of the compost bundles. I bought up a few ethereal vines. They were not too expensive. And now we can go to garden upgrades, plot limit, number 2, and boom, there we go. We now have an additional greenhouse plot. And now we can go over here. We can replace our melon plot with another greenhouse. That is incredible. I'm so happy about this. I've heard tortellinis are going to be really, really solid, so we are going to set that up. I think that's a large amount of farming XP every single day, which would be great. It'll really boost our rates. So I'll see you when that is set up. So here's what I have in terms of tortellini. This should be the setup to get me the maximum amount, and I don't think I need to worry about unique crop bonuses on this plot, as I already have that set up on another plot, so this should work. And it looks like one of our Noctilooms is done. There we go. We get 18k total farming XP off of that, which is very nice. And on top of that, I believe this is done as well. So we can grab that as well. Another 8k total farming XP. Very, very nice. And now we get to turn in the Noctiloom as well as the Thornshade, and that should be a decent amount of copper for us. As you can see, 750 from that one, and from the Thornshade, we can see that we will get a total of 500 as well. Now up to 22 total mutations. We'll need 30 in order to hit another milestone. I don't know if we're going to get that, but still, it's nice to continue making progress. Something else I've wanted to pick up for a little while now, and I just spent about 10 mil on, are these refined dark cacao truffles. That gives us 30 global fortune for 60 minutes, and we also get permanent global fortune. We might as well start consuming these, and that'll give us a nice big boost to our farming fortune temporarily. Even with our rabbit, we're up to 1551 farming fortune, 378 mushroom fortune. We are getting a lot of mushrooms right now. Another nice upgrade I wanted to pick up here is the blue but yellow abacase. As you can see, it gives me 12 accessory power and 1.5 farming wisdom. For 17k bits, that is absolutely something I'm going to need. That brings me up to 343 accessory power. And with one more upgrade, there we go. Solage chip is now max. That was a long grind to get to that point, but I'm pretty happy about it for sure. There's also been another, I believe, cycle for my crops here. So I think if I go in here, yeah, I have some tortellinis here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cultivating 10 item. I think this will give me some more XP. So with this and the rabbit, I get 18k total XP for every one I break. That's actually not that bad, I've got to say. Spent about 12 million coins on upgrades for my crop shot chip. That gets me up to a total of 55 farming fortune, which I think is about 11 more. And we can also eat another cacao truffle. We're at number 3 now of the total 5 that we will need. I'm pretty happy with the farming situation at the moment. We're getting about 13.6 XP per crop we break. We're up to a total of 1568 farming fortune with our rabbit on, as well as 382 mushroom fortune. And if there's pests in the plot, and if we were to swap over to the hedgehog, the theoretical max we could get right now, 1740 plus 382. That is a lot of farming fortune. I did not think I would be nearly close to that amount, I've got to say, at the beginning of the first week, or even by the time I would hit, you know, this level. And there's so much more we could do theoretically if we got a mining week. I don't have gemstones on my gear properly. I don't have the majority of green thumb. That would be really, really nice if I could eventually pick that up, but for now, we do have to keep on farming. And there we go. Off of a visitor, we got another farming level that puts us at farming 57. And now we need another 6.4 million XP in order to hit farming 58. And I want to unlock the final farming level caps. I bought up a few more Jacob's tickets, so boom, there we go. And now we only have one left to get. We'll need 500 total Jacob's tickets and 3 gold medals, which we do have. All right, so now we are about to do it. Here we go. We have bought 500 Jacob's tickets. And boom, there we go. Now we have the maximum total level unlocked. And we can also go for some more farming fortune right here with the extra farming fortune buff, which I think I'm going to start doing. There's cultivating 10 on my fungi cutter. That's very nice and has been a long time coming, I've got to say. And there we go. Now we have all 5 refined dark cacao truffles consumed. That is 5 bonus fortune for pretty much everything that has fortune. I think that's farming fortune, mining fortune, and foraging fortune. And I don't think I'm going to have a mining week anytime soon, apparently, but at the very least, we get to take advantage of the farming fortune. Well, here we have Minister Finnegan with probably the most useless perk for myself. That is quite sad. We also have a Diana with Sharing is Caring, as well as Huntress's Intuition. Neither of these are going to be that useful. I guess the XP sharing is going to be kind of nice for leveling up other pets that I may want to focus on, but overall, just not a very good mayor and minister combination. In one of the weirdest purchases I've ever had to make, I bought a great spook staff in order to press right click and turn myself into a bush in order to farm up this startle vine right here. And now we can turn that in for quite a bit of copper. As you can see, that's 1,000 copper right there. Very, very nice. And now, because it's the Skyblock Summer, we are getting the bonus farming wisdom from our atmospheric filter. And that brings us all the way up to 14.8 farming XP per mushroom broken. That is a big boost from what we had before. Getting closer to the end of the second day, we have made a lot of money. As you can see, 361 million in our sacks, but we've already sold over 150 mil in terms of brown mushroom blocks and other stuff. We have been doing great on money, and we're making a lot of progress on XP as well. As you can see, already about 3.5 mil through this level, and once this level's done, there's only 2 left to go, and the bonus XP that we're getting right now is very much helping. I've got to say, I'm really happy with the progress so far this week. I think we are absolutely on pace to hit that max level by the time the week is done. I would be extremely shocked if I did not hit that milestone. I am very excited to hit it and get another skill out of the way, and then we can move into a future week and not have to worry about it. It's going to be great. So far, just doing this grind, we have gotten a ton of fermento that we can sell. There's 23 million. That is definitely a lot so far, and it's bound to be a whole lot more by the time I'm done with this, especially as I keep on improving my overbloom. And that's another overgrown grass. That gives me a bit of a flashback to the first one that we got in week 1 of farming. That's awesome. There's another 8 million coins. We can't really do anything with it. We can't, apply it to any of our gear. Not that we would want to. And there we go. We sold that overgrown grass. We also sold up all of our fermento. That is really nice. So I'm fairly certain that this magic jelly bean right here can be harvested due to being at stage 12. So I am going to try. And it does look like that has worked. Thank the Lord. I was really worried about that. Let's go get that turned in. And now it's going to be turned in for 750 copper. We're at 24 out of 40 total mutations. I think I'm going to try to get a couple more done, but I can't make a Zombud from my understanding. With all of our money now, we can buy a harvesting book. This will be really solid on our fungi cutter, as you can see here. And if we put that on, you can see we go up from 97.5 up to 110 farming fortune. I can also pick up, I believe, farming for dummies. These are super cheap. I probably should have bought this a while ago, but as you can see, we are able to apply these. And there we go, 115 total farming fortune. We're also going to place a buy order for a few Crop Fever books. That should allow us to get up to Crop Fever 3, which should be significantly better than the just Crop Fever 1 that we have right now. And there's another Crop Fever. This has been pretty rare, to be honest. I think I've only gotten a few. It says 13 on the top left, and I don't think that that's accurate. I feel like I've gotten way less than 13. But still, very nice experience, up to 1655 farming fortune during the Crop Fever. All right, we got a mythic visitor right here, and I can give 2 fermento in. And I get a whole level out of that. That's awesome. There we go. Farming 58, as well as a Harvest Harbinger 5 potion that gives us 50 farming fortune. That is super nice. All right, so I think right about now is where I'm going to wrap up day number 2. We're about 13% of the way through farming 58, and I am just extremely tired. I've been going pretty much all day. We did make a lot more progress once that 20 farming wisdom buff kicked on. It's crazy how much of a difference something like that can make, I've got to say. But I'm really excited to eventually hit farming 60. I think we might be able to do it either tomorrow or during the Harvest Feast, which will be pretty much all day Sunday. I am really excited for that. I'll see you in day number 3. So here we are on day number 3. I already collected all of my pests as well as going through my greenhouses. We got quite a bit of XP. As you can see, we're up to 25% of the way through this level. I won't be around the entire day today. It won't be another full day of farming. But I am going to try to get to farming 59 if that is possible, or at the very least, make some good progress on that goal. Also decided to pick up a very moldy bread that brings me up to 16.7 farming XP per mushroom I break for the next hour. That is going to turbocharge my progress for a little while. With all of these farming buffs active, by the end of that hour, I went from 25% of the way through the level to 53%, which is actually pretty huge given the circumstances. I love the very moldy bread. I think it's a super solid item that if you're leveling farming and you have money to spare, it is totally worth it to pick it up. On top of that, the atmospheric filter is just incredibly strong. The 20 farming wisdom is so useful during these summer months. Well, there we go. There's another skill that I guess technically is maxed. Now we have max carpentry, as you can see, up to a 35.9 skill average. Carpentry is super easy to level during a farming week. You're just able to get a ton of XP really fast, so I guess that's another max skill. That's number 3 technically if you count rune crafting. And pretty soon we'll have number 4. I ended up just buying the rest of the books I needed for Crop Fever 3, and after upgrading my fungi cutter, I was getting the little mini event for it pretty much all the time. It is super nice. Okay, it's kind of embarrassing that it took me this long, but it took me this long to realize that I could slash barn and teleport directly in front of where all the visitors are. That is genuinely embarrassing. I've played this game literal thousands of hours, and I did not know that. All right, we're about to get it. Hold on, it says 100%. There we go. Farming 59. A 1 level left, man. That feels absolutely incredible. I also have an absurd amount of copper, and this might be a mistake, but I am going to try to apply green thumb to my other 3 equipment pieces. All right, so boom, there we go. And then this piece, 11.8 as well. And then this piece also will go up to 11.8. Hey, listen, that's at least a little bit more farming fortune. I believe it's 15 in total, which isn't too bad, I've got to say. Something else I can do that I just thought of is I can actually put farming for dummies on my vacuum here, and that'll get me a little bit more farming fortune. Not a ton more, of course, it's only 5, but still, that is something on pests. We're also going to continue our process of leveling up Crop Beetle. We bought 4 more of these for about 2.9 mil, and that gets us up to 7 overall Overbloom here. Would love to get this maxed out. It would take a few more million coins, but that is nice to get some more Overbloom. And boom, there we go. Now we have maxed out the Infiltration Shard. This gives us 30 farming fortune if your garden plot currently has a pest in it, We haven't really taken advantage of this a lot, but it is another shard that we can consider maxed. We're up to 32 out of 188 fully maxed out. Wanted to give a bit of a mid-year update. As you can see, we're up to 415 million coins in our sacks, and if we looked at our playtime, we're up to 100 hours pretty much exactly on our garden, which is crazy. I think overall for 100 hours, I could have done stuff a little bit more efficiently, of course, but there's certain things on a profile like this where you're just not able to be at maximum efficiency. This is basically a profile that I started from scratch. That first farming week was the second week overall, so it was definitely going to be an uphill battle, but I think we've made a lot of really good progress, and I'm happy with how far we've gotten. We just got a bunch of upgrades all in one. We got 6 compacted wild roses off of a pest, which gave us a garden milestone here for wild roses, which gave us our final garden level. Now we have the maximum overall level for the garden. It feels very, very nice to have that max level, I've got to say. And after hitting the max garden level, there was only a couple more hours separating me from farming 60. And all I did for those 2 hours was grind mushrooms. I took advantage of all the buffs I had, and eventually we were about to hit it. Alright, we're at 99.8% through the level, and if I click on Clerk Seraphine, boom. There we go. Farming 60. That's another maxed out skill. We are done. Yeah, definitely happy to hit that level. That means I can take off this rabbit pet. We're up to 73 million Sawdust. We did so much work to get to this point. I am incredibly happy about it. After hitting that incredible milestone, I noticed that the Harvest Feast was just over an hour away, so if I stayed up a little bit longer, I would be able to take advantage of it. So with the Harvest Feast now active, here we are farming wild roses as they are in season, and we're going for mite pests right now because cactus flowers are worth a lot of money. I'm not really worried about anything else for the moment. I'm just going purely in on money. I think the cash is extremely worthwhile. So let's see how much we can make. By this point, I was incredibly tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. We did end up making a few mil off of this initial Harvest Feast session, but I've got to say it was not my best work. We did get our first set of 5 pests though, which was really nice. We sold around 3 to 5 million worth of cactus flowers, and we were getting ready to move on to the next day when the Harvest Feast would still be active and we would be able to take full advantage of all of the profits. Good morning and welcome to Skill Locked Day 4. We have some interesting stuff going on. We have our Harvest Feast crops for another 26 minutes, and I'm waiting to see when that will change. We already have quite a bit of money, as you can see, 477 mil if we were to insta-sell everything, which is absolutely nuts, I've got to say. Also about 2 mil in Turtellini right here. We're going to sell that as well. I'm excited. I'm ready to keep on farming. Let's get into it. I've got to say, it feels so good to log in this morning and not have to think about farming XP. I could just have my hedgehog on. I don't have to think about anything else. I'm getting the bonus fortune. As you can see, 1705 farming fortune with the pest bonus active. I am just so happy to be finally done with such a long grind. And I actually wanted to take a look real quick at my playtime. We're up to a total of 104 hours, so that's relatively how long it took for me to get level 60. Definitely a very long grind, but I'm happy it's finally over. Alright, we have now swapped over to carrots, cocoa beans, pumpkins, and wheat. I think I'm going to farm carrots, but I'm probably going to set up my pests to be for designer coffee beans. I believe those are the most expensive, although I will take a look. Alright, after a brief look, it looks like Agordians are the best for now, so that is what we will go for. I also wanted to apply a few buffs here to this carrot shovel. As you can see now, it's significantly better off, and I also need to get dedication on this. And boom, there we go. Now we have dedication 3 on this. That is all we really need for the moment, and we will be farming for quite a while. And this will basically be our situation for the next little while, just farming a ton of carrots as far as the eye could see. Very quickly after this point, we started hitting some big money milestones. The Harvest Feast is just so good for money. And we are now over 500 million coins in our sacks. That is absolutely crazy. And as you can see for the Harvest Feast, I have swapped around a lot of my chips to be a little bit better given the circumstances. And as you can see, now we're up to 1733 farming fortune, 323 bonus pest chance. That is much better than we were at before. So we have been farming for a little while now, and we're up to a total of 572 million in our sacks, which is absolutely crazy. Hoping to get to like 600, 650, and I think I'll make a lot more over the coming days and even weeks as the prices of these items start to rise after the end of this feast. And now we have enough sawdust to max out another chip. There we go. Vermin Vaporizer fully maxed out. So now we have that plus Hypercharge. I think next I'm going to go for Rare Finder. And after that, I'm going to try to max out Crop Shot. Alright, so we are now on the final set of crops, which includes sugarcane, moonflower, sunflower, and potatoes. I'm going to go all in on the moonflowers here. They are just going to be worth the most. They're going to be the most useful to me. And we're doing very well on our feast milestones. As you can see, we're at 235 out of 250. And if you look at the money, we're up to 647 million coins, which I am just so happy about. And that's not including a bunch of other stuff that we've sold during the week and other items that we've gotten. We are making amazing progress. We are now going to sell up quite a few enchanted golden carrots because I need to pick up a bunch of lunar moth shards. As you can see, I need these because the perk that they give is really solid. It allows you to get more farming fortune at night. And since we're going to be farming at night due to having to get a bunch of moonflower, well, it's basically what we need to do. And there's my last feast donation tier. That is awesome. I can warp over to the barn and I can go speak to him. I want to claim everything from this now. Boom, 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 and boom. There we go. Our commemorative mason jar has been achieved. We have our feast flasks as well. We can put that up next to our other one. The 14th and 18th harvest feast fully completed. That feels extremely nice. I am very, very happy about that. I also did not save my spot. That kind of sucks. But still, we are making great progress. We are making a ton of money. We are making a lot from our, crystallized moonlight. It just is worth so much money. We're getting a ton of crop milestones. As you can see, we're about to get another one actually on Moonflower here. Crazy fast progress. If Moonflower is in the rotation, I think it is absolutely worth doing. There is another garden milestone. We have been getting tons of those as well. All right, so the price for the salted sunflower seeds has just gone up over the price of crystallized moonlight. So I think over the next hour or two, I'm going to be swapping back and forth, trying to maximize the price for a short period of time. Obviously, it's very silly. I don't need to do this. The price is going to go up after the event's over anyway, but I might as well do so for now. And now we have enough sawdust to get another nice upgrade. As you can see, boom, there we go. Rare Finder is now maxed out. We get 50 Overbloom from that. That was recently nerfed from 60 down to 50 because they added a bunch of Overbloom in other places, but I am not upset about that. That feels really good to have 3 of those maxed and 85 mil total sawdust, which is a lot. Although, frankly, the sawdust grind is extremely long, probably a little bit too long if I'm going to be real, but yeah, that's another one of those maxed out, gives us a little bit more overbloom, which is super good on pests. I am very happy. And yeah, we're up to 113 overbloom now with our pest kills. That feels super solid. I ended up farming for a few more hours, swapping between nighttime and daytime depending on which crop was better, but we made a lot of money as we wrapped up the harvest feast. Alright, I have been farming for quite a while now, and I think it's time to wrap up for the night. As you can see, we're at 699, about 700 million coins in our sacks, as well as another 700k we could sell right now in like Turtellini and stuff like that. I think I am going to take it a little bit easier the next couple days, try to get this video out relatively quickly, but I have grinded so much, I've gotta say. Up to 277 hours of playtime, 112 hours in the garden. I think we've been doing probably over 10 hours a day since we started. So happy to be going into a future week with this much cash. I feel really good about our odds, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's move on to the final full day. Hello and welcome to the last full day of Skill Locked. As you can see, we have a little bit of a different barn going on here. That's because we got this upgraded one with our final garden level. And if we're taking a look at the amount of money we have, as you can see, the price of some stuff went up a little bit after the end of the Harvest Feast, up to 708 mil. In terms of everything else I've done during the week, I am really happy, I've got to say. We grinded out a ton, as you can see. Just so much money to be made. Ton of sodas that we got. We maxed out a few chips. We got our garden level maxed out, and we got our farming level maxed out, which means farming once again is officially unlocked. I can do it whenever I need to in the future, and I probably will do it every once in a while, and I'll at the very least check in on my greenhouses every once in a while to get that free money from those. But overall, a very, very productive week. Aside from some light farming for the rest of the day, I didn't really do a whole lot, and in terms of the mutations, I was not able to continue progressing through them, as I didn't really have a lot of time left in the week to begin with, and on top of that, Zombuds would have locked me out of further progression anyway, so I decided to just leave that for whenever we get a combat week. Now that farming is unlocked, we're able to do it whenever we want, which is a really big deal. It's going to make money making a lot easier for the rest of the profile's duration. Alright, here we go. This is what I have for my second Ash Wreath plot, and I have a red mushroom over there for the unique crop bonus. And for those wondering about the other unique crops, I have moved them all over to the Turtellini plot, so I'm still getting the bonuses from that. As you can see, I also upgraded one of my traps to a vermin trap. The benefit here is that you have additional slots in the trap itself. You get 4 pests instead of 3. Just a nice quality of life feature. Eventually, I'll upgrade the other 2, but it's not a super high priority. I am really happy with farming. I really enjoyed this grind. I played a lot of Skyblock over the past few weeks, going back and forth between fishing and farming and fishing and farming. But as you can see, 112 hours. I think that's where we're going to wrap up. Again, we're at 708 million. I may grind a little bit for the rest of the day, but nothing really special is going to happen during that time. It's just going to be more money grinding. And now it's time. Let's spin the wheel that decides our fate. Alright, here we are, rolling for yet another week. We have combat, fishing, and mining. And I'm going to shuffle it up. And here we go. Please, please, please. No! Ah, I don't want to fish. I don't want to fish anymore. I don't want to fish. I don't want to. I don't want to, but it's what I have to do. Oh, that's terrible. That's really bad. Thank you for watching another episode of Skyblock Skill Locked. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order. Leave all your thoughts about the episode down below, and I'll see you next time on Skyblock Skill Locked.